Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh to Madam. So our group today will present to you our selected topic for this assignment. So our group had been selected to carry out a case study that involving a high-rise residential building. So the building that had been chosen by our group is named Pixel City Central. Pixel City Central is a high-rise building that located in Bandar Seri Permaisuri in Kuala Lumpur. This building is categorized as a high-rise residential building and the estimation time to be completed is in 2024. It also have 29 floors level with 351 units of house, and this condominium type can make the resident be able to discover the beauty of Bandar Seri Permaisuri. Pixels also offers a modern lifestyle to their residents, since Pixel itself is inspired by the urban lifestyle concept. It is also offers the perfect home to discover in the new ways to enhance the new way of life. Smart home system for a smart home lifestyle. As we know, Bandar Seri Permaisuri is a township in Cheras, Kuala Lumpur. It is located near to the Bandar Tun Razak and Salak South. Bandar Seri Permaisuri is open for residential housing areas since the early 2000. They also have a lot of high-rise buildings such as an apartment and also the other condominium that located in that area. Bandar Seri Permaisuri is being taken care by Kuala Lumpur City Hall, or in Malay is Dewan Bandaraya Kuala Lumpur, and the development there was very good. The area also is expected to cater about an estimated about 70,000 people in a time. Pixel City Central had been carried out by a developer company which is Kirana Kemajuan Sendirian Berhad. What makes Pixel City Central such a good place to live in is because of the amenities. Pixel City Central is easily accessible via six major highways, and it only takes just 30 meters in distance for the residents to go to the LRT Salak Selatan station. And also there are various established amenities within the 3 kilometer vicinity include Taman Tasik Permaisuri, Hospital Kuala Lumpur, and also for the national schools. The location is very strategic and it allows all the residents to have a good life and good experience there. And another amenities that also located near to the Pixel City Central such as Maybank Seri Permaisuri, JPJ Seri Permaisuri, train station of Salak Selatan, Dataran Dwi Tasik and also RHB Seri Permaisuri. Anyone who choose Pixel City Central as their home will get a lot of benefit and also a lot of advantages because Pixel City Central have a lot of number of facilities. Imagine that, for example, when you are coming home at a late night to a building where it's a big building, but there's no one there at that time. And of course, we need to be worried. But in Pixel City Central, they have a 24-hour security system that will that will make sure that their residents are all safe. They have a lot of surveillance camera and other technology that contribute to the building securities to make the residents feel secure. not just for about the security but also for the basement car park. Residents will not have any problem to park their vehicles since they have a lot and they have a wide space area for the basement car park, and they also use a multi-story car park system. The other things that Pixel City Central provide is aerobic pool, basement car park, BBQ pits, car park, children playground, community garden, covered car park, drop-off point, library, and also lift lobby. Not just that, they also have a meeting room that can be used by the residents or the outside party who decide to create a meeting there. They also you can use the facilities. The residents also doesn't need to go out for go out to buy their groceries because they also have mini market uh in that condominium. And also, parents no need to worry about their children if they want to go out and play because they also provide a great playground in it. And also they have a reflexology path, sky lounge, swimming pool, and wedding pool. And now we look for the unit layout that had been provided by the developer. So totally there are 7 types of unit that been prepared for anyone who wants to buy it. So all the 7 units have their own characteristics and have a different size in square feet. So we look for the type A. Type A, it consists of 4 bedroom and 3 bathrooms in it. Um, the size is the square feet size is 982 square feet, and the starting price is 399,500 ringgit. The next one is A1. um in easy word, for the type A1, A1, B, C, C1, and C2, all of it consists of 4 bedroom and 3 bathrooms, but each of that have a different in size. For type D is the biggest unit among the others, which have which is 1,308 square feet in size. And also the starting price also is the highest one, which is 544,900 ringgit Malaysia, and it consists of 5 bedrooms and 3 bathrooms.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Muhammad Faris Azfar, and today I would like to explain on the case study in our research in terms of their facility management services. In this report, our group decided to choose Pixel City Central as our case study, and in overall, there are 76 facilities listed and provided by the building. Facilities services are usually put in a place by the business owner to improve the working environment and increase the productivity of the business main function. The facility services are vital because it can improve the workplace and making it comfortable environment to work on, and also for the users. Facilities management can be divided into 2 categories, which is routine services and additional services. Routine services can be defined as all services and maintenance, and systems required to assure the continuous and effective operation of the system to meet or exceed all of the environmental requirements. Some of the routine services provided by the Pixel City Central are: first is fire safety. Fire safety is one of the most common services that must be provided by any building, for example, hospital, school, or high rise, and many more. And as the fire can pose the highest risk to the occupants, properties, building, and business itself, every possible precaution must be made to ensure the safety of the building. As a facility manager, we must routinely testing all fire safety equipment, recording record of inspection, and also maintaining records of compliance. Next is lift services and maintenance. Uh, in a high-rise building especially, it is very important because it provides vertical passages to the users, particularly in a tall building. Other than that, uh, lift also can use to transportation the goods or as a way to evacuate in case of dangerous. In Pixel City Centre, it's said for lift are installed at the building, and before any installation of the lift, we must follow the lift regulation in 1997 as amended by the UK Supply of Machinery Regulation in 2008. The next one is mechanical and electrical services. The work of M&E are mainly done by the Department of Engineering during the construction period. Uh, M&E is very important because a variety of services need the support from the M&E system, such as heating, ventilation, and air conditioning, lightning service, lift, fire safety, refrigeration, and etc. Next, the additional services. Additional services is provided to make sure the workplace in a comfortable environment, especially for the workers and also for the user, to ensure a pleasant and secure a place for them to stay or live. Additional services are not essential and can be added or removed at any point or any time. In Pixel City Centre, additional services can be divided into three levels, which is ground level, facilities, podium, and sky terrace. In ground level, 10 facilities were provided, such as government terrace, entry trellis, kids the wall, and many more. In this level, it's especially for the occupants to enjoy themselves, and also for the kids to play around with the others. As for the facilities podium, a total of 43 facilities and were provided, and the rest of the facilities are located at Sky Terrace. For example, swimming pool, gym and gym are located in the facilities podium, and meanwhile in Sky Terrace there was Sky Bar and Sky Pavilion and many more. Next, we proceed to the waste management. In every facility management company, most of the company possess waste management services because the benefit of waste management it can gather and transit, processing, and also recycling, and lastly they can also dispose of the materials that can be recycled by the occupant. The waste management services are important, especially to have in a place located at a downtown or center of city. Next, the security. The security are usually provided in a place that are occupied by any resident or other peoples, and the security officers are hired to protect the occupants, the property, and also the guests of the occupants. The basic duty of the security officers include patrolling the area of condominium, monitoring the surveillance equipment, inspecting building, and also permitting entry in case of stranger or other guests of occupants. And lastly, the furniture and equipment. As our case study is Leasehouse condominium, the most basic services that they can offer is furniture and equipment in each of the unit of the building purchase. One unit of the building provided 4 to 5 rooms, include baby room and also 3 bathrooms with a smart home system available for the occupants to use. And other than that, 2 car parking slot also provided to each purchases unit. That's all from me. Thank you.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Ahmad Shahid bin Ahmad Wanda. Now we'll talk about the procurement and service delivery of facilities management. So this is the procurement process. There are 5 stages of procurement process. Process 1 is pre-contract, second is technical specification, third is the supplier selection, fourth is the award stage, and the last one is the performance stage. So let's look at the stages. So the first stage, which is the pre-contract stage. It begins with the end in mind during the pre-RFP release contract development stage. The transition requirement should be created and clearly delineated in the RFP language. The transition language starts with understanding the needs of the consumer. The translating those needs into requirements and then developing specification aligned with the requirement to be included in the RFP. Third, it is recommended that sufficient information about the facilities be provided in the RFP to allow bidders to make consistent and accurate assumptions about the types, condition, quantity of asset item to be covered by the service contract. Next is the technical specification. This is the stage where the pre-transition strategy should include verification and sharing of the accuracy of the facilities data, asset inventory and physical condition of the assets by both the existing and new service provider. Much of this data should reside in the Computerized Maintenance Management System (CMMS) or Integrated Workplace Management System (IWMS). It is best to conduct this quality assurance verification far enough in advance of the existing service provider's contract expiration that corrections may be made, but not so far in advance that the observed condition change due to subsequent service activity. Next is the supplier selection. It is important working in concert with your procurement department in this phase. The facility manager knows what they need for successful operation and has taken the necessary time to write a great scope, but it must be clearly translated to the procurement personnel to enable a successful RFP process. There are a myriad of evaluation factors to consider and be prioritized, and this must be agreed upon by all parties of the contracting team at the very beginning of the process. Next is the award stage. So in this stage, it is designed for us to create a phase-out plan listing all the required activities, who is responsible for the activities and associated schedule with activity dates. Next is to create a risk management plan and then conduct an initial contract phase-out coordination meeting 6 months prior to the end of the current contract and have subsequent status meeting on bi-monthly or monthly basis. Lastly is to create a communication plan. A communication plan should include required notifications and coordination. So the final and the fifth stage is the performance stage. Performance stage standard transition approaches transition vary as much as the company who procure and provide them. There are no national or international norms when it comes to this process. There are current ISO FM guidance standards under development that will address common global approaches to strategic sourcing and FM agreements. So Now we'll talk about the service delivery of facilities management. According to Atkins and Brooks, facilities management function may be successfully performed or provided either by in-house and or outsourcing approach depending on the priority of the activities or services of an organization. In-house approach is basically refers to as services provided by dedicated resource directly hired by the client organization, where the relationship is more conventional employer-employee basis. While for outsourcing, Barrett and Baldry use the term contracting out to describe the process of which the client employs a separate organization under the contract to provide a service which alternatively could be performed by the in-house staff. So this is the cost, this is the criteria to decide which type of delivery so this is the criteria to decide on the type of delivery that we wanted for our building. So the first one is the cost. Total cost of the contract including all self-performed and subcontracted specialist services. Next is the service quality, which is the service level as defined in service level agreement. Next is risk and liabilities, which is the degree to which the effective cost of the contract may vary to either party. The fourth one is the specialization and diversity. Many functions within an outsourcing contract are occasional rather than full-time, equivalent roles of a specialized and marginal duties. Fifth, responsibilities and accountabilities. The complexity and clarity of a specific and general roles and assigned duties within and for the contract. Next is the flexibility. The potential ability to action changes in the nature, magnitude, resource, location, and focus when service delivery is required. Next is the innovation, which is the degree to which newly designed or conceived process, methods, solutions, or products are brought to bear within the outsourcing contract. Next is investment, which is the degree to which time and money are dedicated to improvement in and development of the scope of the service delivery. Next is the information, which is the nature, format, and validity of data, qualitative and quantitative, to determine the performance and metrics in relation to service provision. Last but not least is the customer orientation, which is the degree to which the provision of the services understand and respond to the specific needs of the customer at all levels. So this is the service level arrangement for our study case, which is the PITSI City Central. So for fire safety and lift services, maintenance, the delivery is done by outsourcing, mechanical is in-house, cooling is outsourcing, lighting and cleaning is in-house, security is outsourcing, and while equipment management, landscaping, waste management, IT management, and financial management are all done by in-house delivery. So that's all from me. Thank you.
Okay, now I will present to you about the facilities management contract. Facilities management contract is commonly known as a written or oral agreement that stating the terms and conditions for provisions of contract between a client and internal or external contract provider. Whether it is any industry such as industrial facility, power station, hospital, uh, and etc. For a project to retain its value, contract is needed, and also contract can make it more attractive for the users, and also the operation and the maintenance can be properly well by having a good contract. Related to the case study, there are three types of contract, which is the first one, fixed price contracts, the second one is cost reimbursable contracts, and the third one is time and material contracts. The first one is fixed price contract. The first type of contract, this type of contract is where the payment amount does not depend on the resources used or the time expended. This scheme is often used by the contractors to put the risk on the side of the vendor and by contractor and control costs. However, historically, where such contracts are used to innovative the new project, tested or not, such it can and often results in a failure if costs greatly exceed the ability of the contractor. In this topic, there are three types of fixed price contract, which are the first one, firm fixed price. This is the most commonly known by people in industry. A price is set from the outset and will not change unless there is a change in scope of work. The second one is fixed price incentives fee. This is a contract where the buyer and seller will share the risk together, and also benefit will go to the both of sides. In this type of contract, the ceiling price is established where the maximum amount of the buyer will pay. Both added together become the target price, and finally, each of them agrees to share the ratio of the cost overruns or underruns. The share ratio then being used to calculate the point of total assumption. The third one is the fixed price with economic price adjustment. Okay, this type of fixed price contract are usually being used for the contracts that span multiple years in a project. The second type of contract is cost reimbursable contracts. In this type, the majority of the risk falls on the buyer and is less desirable because of it. These types of contracts are more appropriate if there is not a clear statement of work in the beginning of the project. This is also make the risk presents too high for the seller to accept in a fixed price. And there are several types of cost reimbursable contracts. The first one is cost plus percentage of cost cost plus percentage of cost. In this type, the seller bears zero risk and the buyer accepts it all. This is least desirable cost reimbursement contract for the buyer since all costs incurred by the seller. The next one is cost plus fixed fee. The buyer still bears all risk, but the seller's profit does not increase at all. The profit is set at the beginning of the project, which is typically a percentage of the estimated cost. And due to this, it it all related or it all depends on the seller's performance. The third one is cost plus award free. This contract shares the risk a little more with the seller. The buyer also reimburses the seller for the actual cost. So, and all of it is based on the buyer's satisfaction of performance standards outlined in the contract. And the last one is cost plus incentive fee. This contract shares the most risk between buyer and seller of the cost reimbursable contract. In this contract, the buyer reimburses the seller for the actual cost and then pays an incentive fee that is predetermined and outlined in the contract. Last but not least is the third type of contract, which is time and material contract. Time and material contract involve both parties agreeing on predetermined unit rates for labor and material, and there is no present price for construction. When using time and material contracts, several aspects will be negotiated between the parties. The first one is the labor rate. Labor rate will be specified in a fixed rate for all labor, including administrative personnel. When using T&M or time and material on large project, contractor usually offer discount labor rate to reduce the total project cost. The next one is the maximum labor hours. This contract can set a maximum number of labor hours using a clause. A specified amount of labor hours, then the additional lower hours cannot be billed to the other party. This helps to prevent from the lower efficiency or more money to be out. And the third one is not to exceed. A time and material not to exceed contract includes a cap that represents the maximum amount that can be charged by the contractor. Because of the contract price is limited to the cap amount, no matter how long the project takes or how high the material cost, it still can be run.
Assalamualaikum. My name is Abdul Hakim and I will talk about issue and challenges. The first issue is the resident refused to pay the maintenance fees. They claim that the maintenance fees imposed on them were not parallel to the facilities provided at their residence. This means that the charge is considered to be expensive when comparing it with the less facility provided. Some of the residents argue that the maintenance fees was not equal to the standard of the service. Consequently, this argument led to the resident refusal to pay maintenance fees. Next one is the poor facility maintenance. Failure of maintenance officer to perform maintenance work consistently and faithfully, causing the facility is usable among the residents. All these facilities must be managed in compliance with their maintenance schedule to ensure that they are still in good shape. The facility manager must act efficient to avoid any accident within the building. Next is incompetent facility management. The facility needs to be managed properly to avoid any incident that happen unexpectedly and unintentionally. Some of the building management work poorly because the facility management do not have the experience to operate and maintain the facility properly. In practice, few of them only want the fees from the resident but refuse to improve the facility of the high-rise building. As for the maintenance management, the first one is managing maintenance efficiently. Efficient in repairing damaged equipment is critical for effective facility and maintenance management, as residents are increasingly demanding when it comes to malfunctioning repair times. The building management needs to ensure the quality of the facility to work properly. Next one is the elevator maintenance issues. The management of the high-rise building need to understand the importance of elevator safety and maintenance. In reality, buildings such as Pixel Central City will rely on a safe and reliable elevator to serve its residents. Lastly is the fire safety. Among the important high-rise building problem, fire safety are the most critical. The fire safety needs to be managed properly since huge number of residents occupy the building to ensure the building safety.
I will continue to the findings on additional FMM challenges during the crisis of COVID-19. The first one is telework mandates working from home. So what is the telework mandates? This is by means since we are working from home and the office remain empty. But in June 2020, professionals are considered working from home. But no organization actually prepare for the situation. This adaptation was not an insurmountable obstacle for everyone. The challenge remains to motivate employers to achieve the same result and how for employers to recognize and acknowledge this effort. Second is new norm at workplace. So after the lockdown, we can open our office, but this need to be extra precaution of the COVID-19. Transmission can likewise happen by contacting surface that have been from the contaminated individual, and afterward contacting one face. Cleaning groups must be prepared in dangers, act like their work to kill the impacts of the infection. Extra preparing must be organized and new hardware bought to adequate do the vital cleaning and sanitizing program. Deep sanitizing or sterilization program have become the norm in the cleaning sector of FM around the world. The third one is flexible working environment issue. So creating the flexible working environment, it does require mobile phones, notebook, laptop, or even computer. This issue caused a shortage of money, so there were less piece of equipment than there were people. Employers and employees need to find a good balance between work and private life. For example, right now we are using Microsoft Teams, but this could result in less social interaction. The fourth one is outsider visitor cannot visit the building. During this pandemic, some building or even the case study building that is high-rise residential building, the facility management team in building to discuss about the temporary visitor policy. On this problem, the facility manager suggested that by using RFID, visitor badge or tracking mobile device location, but this could arise a problem on cost how to detect if the visitor have become positive cases for COVID-19, and lastly could be the RFID work and have ability to track the movement of visitor in the building. The 5th point is shortage of employees. So it is very possible to the employers or employees to positive in COVID. Problem will arise a problem when the employees are not capable to work, and the question is what FMMM do to cover their work. This also will affect decision making as well as other activities. Number 6 is soft hygiene service. Reducing the risk of infection in commercial and residential building from the COVID-19 threat has become the core of the entire FM service delivery module at any or all active site. Cleanliness administration have become the fundamental need of the great importance alongside backup, uphold guaranteeing essential requirement to power and water. The pandemic has changed the way many saw and moved towards cleaning and sanitizing administration. And the last one is adoption to technology. The other argument that has arisen in the middle of this crisis is the need to implement technology in a way that improves productivity and benefits staff and human intelligence. For example, the cleaning industry need to actively look at embrace automation to prepare for the future. The challenges arrive where FM service partners are once again responsible for supplying the customer with a ready reference manual covering all the dimensions of a modern operating climate. Through the COVID-19 is not entirely gone, said the author from the Park 2020.
Last but not least is the recommendation to improve facilities and maintenance management for Pixel City Central. But before that, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh and a very good day I bid to Madam Irma and fellow friends. I am Muhammad Amirul Hakim bin Zulkifli from AP 2244A. When talking about improvement, there are so many ways that can be done in order to improve the facilities and maintenance management. Here are some recommendations. First one is to get more experience by provide training for existing employees. By doing this from time to time, employees will be able to get more experience and do a job properly and smoothly. Secondly is try to reduce any possibilities of financial risk. By doing this, we can save a lot of more money for financial. Thirdly, safety awareness should be increased from time to time. By doing this, we can save more money for the safety for the building. And next one is enhance the communication skills among staff. By doing this, actually, people can communicate better. Continued. Next is provide and use contingent workers. Besides, it can be, in order to improve the facilities and maintenance management, is to set aim and focus on value creation more than just a cost saving. And next is develop and create sustainable solutions. And the next one is optimize and utilize the use of space. Besides, leverage and adapt new technology. Since we're living in Industrial Revolution 4.0, there are so many things, so many technology that can be leveraged into the facilities and maintenance management. And the last but not least is to enhance and empower the service deliveries with data. Since it's connected to the new technology, this data and the leveraging of new technology is something good in order to improve the facilities and maintenance management for Pixel Central City. That's all from us. Thank you. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.